Before Zante, he was up 40, so Zante put him up by 92. So it would have been 92-point lead versus a 76, 78-point lead. And Adam keeps the scoring pressure on, plays Brim, and moves the high point tiles, keeps a balanced sleeve. And is rewarded with the second blank for it. No bingos on Adam's rack. It's pretty going to be straightforward of just sort of just figuring out how best to deal with the J. He has a spot for je, but it burns the E, which you want to not do if you don't have to. There's a Joe at 10B is going to be a reasonable play, and that is what Adam does. Interesting position for Jason because there's a lot of choices here with the Q that are by and large just very different from each other. There's QIS will go here, and then there's stuff. There's Aqua will go here. So yeah, there's some different options, and he takes QAT on gut. Which it does take out that S lane. There is an S and a blank unseen to Jason, and he has a bit of a leave, trying to hold on, trying not to give Adam an easy spot to bingo. We'll see how this ends up working. And Jason draws into a bingo that actually fits alongside QAT on the end column. We'll see. We'll see how Adam ends up responding. Right now, both players have about 10 minutes on their clock. So time isn't looking to be too much of an issue. And given Adam's rack, it seems pretty unlikely that he's going to bother to do anything to molest the end column. So Jason, it looks really, really good for Jason here because it looks like he's going to get his bingo down, and even despite Adam having both blanks. Yeah, and as Zev points out, Cat takes out the touche hook along the row 8, which is also going to be very valuable. And yeah, Adam makes a balancing play that scores a little bit. Um, does set up, a bingo lane for the S, but it also does not block keloids, which goes down pretty quickly. And now Jason is absolutely in the driver's seat, even though Adam is looking at the second blank. He does not look particularly amused by this turn of events. And now Adam's down 2 bingos. The Fung hook is an air ball. He would like to hit O column, but isn't holding any vowels that back hook the K. Or, if he can hit along the, from the V, that would also be pretty ideal. But yeah, right now Adam is looking at no bingos whatsoever with the second blank, and it's a pretty difficult situation. There are currently 11 tiles in the bag, so we're getting down pretty close to the end here. And it's going to be, if Adam's able to come back from this, it's going to be one of the games that gets talked about for quite a while because it's a pretty dire situation. Given Adam's draw of the E's, keloids is a pretty terrible play because it's impossible for Adam to make a meaningful play down the O column because he can't hook the K, he can't hook the L. He doesn't have an N for QIN. Without burning the blank, which would, be a horrible idea here. He just can't touch the O column, and the X is out. So it's entirely possible that Jason is sitting on X with a bunch of A's out and the X is out, and it's like, what can Adam do? Does he drop the M at that 08 square? You just have to let it ride and hope that Jason doesn't have some amazing post-bingo draw. Very, very difficult position for Adam. It's just, looks really, really difficult. And what Adam ends up actually doing is playing defense with offense. He plays Tella up top, giving himself a juicy bingo line along row 1. If Jason happens to take that 08 spot, then row 1 is going to be open. Like sometimes the way to respond to an opening that you can't actually directly address is to indirectly address it by creating another opening that you then will be able to take advantage of. So you're kind of trading off big high point plays, and that's what Adam did with Tella, basically addressing the 08 spot by creating another option for himself. Jason, of course, does have a large play down the O column, and he plays it immediately. And I actually might have put the mouse there for another 12, 15 points, and just to try and ice it as much as possible. And I know from playing Adam that, even when you're just drawing like a dream and getting everything from him, you can be sitting there up 120 points, and as long as there are 7 tiles in the bag for him to draw after playing a bingo, you're still nervous. You're still gonna be, you're never sure that the deed is done until the bag is pretty empty. Yeah, Adam doesn't have too many options. He is going to need to triple here if he's gonna win. There are 2 tiles in the bag. Adam plays EE to empty on the number, and Adam doesn't tend to do he wouldn't do something like men. Um, he tends to he's not going to assume that his opponent is going to make like just a mind blowing mistake and not take out the triple. So a play like EE, he has a lane at the top at row 1. He has an ascending lane row 14. If he draws a bingo that fits in both places, then hey, he already has the board set up how he wants to allow him to bingo out. At this point, it's not going to win. But if he played men, then a bingo at the top is going to get blocked, and a bingo at the bottom may not fit. Or he's emptying on the number. If nothing plays with that M in the spot, he may have blocked his own bingo, allowing Jason to address the bottom of the board. As it stands, it looks like Adam has drawn bingos that go in both places. Really, Jason doesn't need to do too much. Something up top, probably taking out the the higher scoring lane on row 1. Even something like ticks up there would be seems like it would be fine. Right now, Adam is on 5 minutes 44 seconds. Jason is just under 8 minutes. And he does have ticks lined up on his rack. Adam, of course, has mangoes that plays for a lot of points at 1D. And also fits, obviously, hooking fung. And yeah, it looks like ticks is the play for Jason. And then Adam bingos out with agnomen and fungo. Which leaves Jason the winner, 473 to 389. Men instead of Tella. Perhaps that puts Jason in an interesting situation, because he does have, if he plays Dadas, he has a 70-point play of his own, which, yeah, it might end up staying open. It might not. It's would you give up the 70-point play to block the triple? That's a hard trigger to pull. So yeah, you'd probably get one shot at a triple through men as the tiles fell, at least. Yeah, it's hard to say, Zev, about which Jason would do. O column is tough to fit a bingo in there, but as the tiles fell, he has a bingo score, so he's probably going to play it. But in the general case, given the score of the game, Keloids has just gone down. Given the score of the game, I think in the general case, Jason is going to block men. Of course, if he has a 65, 70-point play down O column, he's going to take it. So yeah, there's a larger chance that the M stays open. I think unless Jason has a monster play elsewhere, it's going to that's going to get priority. With a 130-point lead, 120-point lead that he had after keloids, he doesn't really care if Adam hits the X. It's not going to be the difference in the game. I think we're going to have an interview with Jason Keller shortly about this game. We'll. I think the Luz play is one that's likely we should ask about, and maybe ask him the counterfactual about the men play. After we chat with Jason a bit, we're gonna go break for lunch. The games will resume at 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll probably, I think we're going to be coming on a bit earlier to do an interview with director and technical wizard Vince Castellano about the setup, about some of the pairings that are going into this event. We're going to do, hopefully, we'll do an interview with Jennifer Lee or Lisa Brown. Following up on their previous round game. Jennifer is doing quite well in the event, at 9-4 going into this 14th round. We see here the standings on the screen. It's Evan's game against Lisa Brown has not come in yet, but we have Adam Logan falling to 11-3 after this loss to Jason Keller. Brad Whitmarsh also 11-3. Stefan Rao is at 10-4 after beating Sean Abbasi, and Jennifer Lee's score against Tim Wilkinson is still outstanding. Tim Weiss is outstanding, and Tim is at 8-5 playing Jennifer. Jason Keller moves up to 8-6 as a result of this victory over Adam Logan. Over in the TWL division, we have only a couple games in this round 14. Joey Malik has, let's wait till the floating text moves. Joey Malik has beaten Benji. He's up to 9-5. Joey Krafchick beat Lloyd Mills, also up to 9-5. Carl Higbee, who is 10-3, 2 games ahead of the field going into this round. His score is not in yet, and Conrad is at 8-5, and his score is not in yet. I'm not right now. We have a break for lunch. I don't know yet what we have scheduled for after lunch yet. I don't know if that's been decided, but I'll let everybody know as soon as I know what's what. The players are starting to clear out of the playing room for lunch. You can see them milling about as the round 14 games end. It is nearing 1:45 in Albany. So there will be about we'll be taking a break for about an hour and change. Before we resume for the afternoon session. There will be 4 games in the afternoon session, beginning at 3:15 p.m. Eastern, 2:15 p.m. Central, and at various other times throughout the world. We are trying right now to find Jason Keller and get him on so we can ask about some of the some of the plays in this game that might have gone different. I think Jason played perfectly well. There were no major mistakes. Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Good afternoon, Chris. You're coming through loud and clear.
All right.
I have the winner of the last streaming game, Jason Keller, here to tell you all about it.
All right.
Hello.
Hello, hello. You have just had a good result against Adam Logan.
Yes, I have.
And let's get your video up on the feed there.
It was a much better result than the last game I played on the live stream, so I was very happy with that, but I said I was going to sit on the other side. Yep. That was the lucky side.
That seemed to work out for you, yeah. The when you played off the Q and obscured the S hook and then drew into keloids that happened to fit as an overlap, that was a really nice sequence.
Very lucky.
Very lucky. Iced the game. Plus, Adam is sitting on the second blank for like 5 or 6 turns, and he doesn't have anything. He has like a bunch of E's that are useless in trying to block that spot. So,
yes.
The timing worked out really well for you. One of the plays there were a couple plays that the people watching the commentary in the chat here had questions about. One was when you played Zante. There was a question: did you consider playing Luz down off of Pellin, keeping the stronger leaves?
I did consider playing Luz. And I felt that with my leave and with the shape that the board was going to take, that Zante was. I did not know that Adam was sitting on retaining a blank, but I felt that Zante was actually a pretty good play to kind of just restrict the board a little bit. But yeah, no, Luz was my other consideration. Actually, I was hoping that somehow he was going to put a K down in the triple line and make it really easy for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, the board wasn't that open, which is an argument for not sacrificing points at that point. But that was interesting. Another thing that came up is when Adam played Tella, he had like 3 E's, M, L, T blank. And it was a good tactic by him. He couldn't touch the opening on the O column because all he had were E's for his vowels. So he creates another opening to allow him to bingo with a high score potentially. One thing that Zev in the chat suggested is that Adam could have just played men into the end of Zante, opening up a triple at that point. And leave you with the choice of blocking the triple or taking your big play on the O column. And I'm just wondering what your thought would be or how you would react to that.
I'm trying to think. I mean, some clowns over here are some inferior stake players are. But I mean, so let's see. I would have to grab my scorebook.
Yeah,
I'd probably do a little because I still had Dada for 61 if I wanted it. And in fact, I was almost contemplating putting the S down as well but just was not really sure about that S on it. It seemed reasonable to me, but I just think that with the score as it was, I'm just wondering if that play might have outran the triple.
Yeah, and I think with Dada, or even Dada's for like 75, almost 80, what it would be. I think you have to play with that big a score. I would think if you have about a 40-point play in the O column, then you probably address the triple. It was my thought at it, but
definitely given what the score of the play was, and especially it also made it just really easy, given the shape of. I mean, given I don't mean to say shape. I mean just given what the situation was.
Yeah.
Because it was very clear that I'm going to go up, and I pretty much can't be touched from there, given the way that the game was.
Yeah. Yeah. I know when I've played Adam in the past, and especially like in the finals of the semifinals of the Worlds when I played him, whenever you get out to a lead against Adam, until the bag is actually empty, you're still nervous.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was very nervous, and then I kind of saw, okay, he's got, who's behind me here?
That's Shelly.
Oh, Shelly.
Hi,
hey.
Shelly.
So so at that point, and I kind of was, I did a quick little, at the end there, I'm just like, well, I kind of see the situation. I saw what was, I mean, I kind of knew what was coming when I drew out of the bag, and I'm like, well, there were 2 lines, and obviously
yeah,
it's gonna be, I'm like, okay, so he's gonna bingo, but it's not gonna, I mean, it's gonna cut spread.
Yeah. Yeah, even after keloids goes down, and you're up like 120, and this is really, you're in control. You're like, okay, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna pull out of his hat?
I just said, because I know that the blank is out, and I know it's not in my rack, and if there's some ridiculous play that he comes up with in the O column instead of having all of those E's, I mean, with the X, or with the X still out.
Yeah.
I mean, there was that possibility that maybe, that maybe there's some monster play he gets with the X, and then wins the game. So and I realized that I felt a little, the whole game. I mean, but this is kind of when I play top players. I don't know if it forces me to play better, but a lot of times I feel like I'm never, like, there are very rare occasions where I feel like I'm 1,000% in control. And I always feel like, okay, you know what, I have to really just be on, just kind of be looking over my shoulder the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that feeling, especially against Adam. It's always really difficult. Well, I don't want to keep you from everybody heading out to lunch too much longer.
Well, I'm honestly, I'm gonna see. I'm probably gonna get something like small and quick. So
yeah,
you're good. But I'm always happy to chat.
Yeah. Still full of steak from last night.
Yeah, still full of steak from last night.
Yeah, I wish I could have been out there with all of you. That sounds like you had a really great time.
Yeah. Come out next year.
Yes. We're hoping that Randy and I can make it out next year, visit family over the holidays, and then hit Albany for New Year's. That's our hope for 2018. So, all right. Thanks for joining us on the broadcast, and good luck in the rest of your games. And hopefully we'll see you up on the broadcast table again.
Yeah, let's hope.
All righty.
So, right.
Yep. Thanks.
Okay.
And that is an interview with the winner of our round 14 game, Jason Keller. Beat Adam Logan by a score of 473 to 389. At this point, we're going to sign off for somewhere around an hour or so. We have, while the players in Albany go out for their lunch break, we have sitting at lunch after 14 of 22 rounds in this tournament. We have Evans Clinchy with a game lead on the field. He is 12-2 plus 13-22. Adam Logan, having fallen to Jason Keller in the previous round, is 11-3 plus 11-17. Brad Whitmarsh is also 11-3 plus 580. And Stefan Rao, who was just giving Jason some bunny ears in that that interview, is at 10-4. Jennifer Lee's score against Tim Weiss is not in yet. She was 9-4 heading into round 14, so we'll be keeping an eye on her performance as she's having a breakout tournament this weekend. We have 4 games this afternoon, starting at 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We have 4 games tomorrow morning, starting, I believe, at 9:30 a.m. Eastern. So 8 rounds to go in this exciting event, and the fight for first is fierce. This is broadcasting to you from the Central West End in St. Louis, Missouri. This is Chris Leip and Randy Goldberg. And we are covering the event live from Albany, New York, thanks to the technical wizardry of Vince Castellano. WGVC.com provides technical needs from the laptop to the cloud. It's a great setup he has. We will be back, as I said, in about an hour with some interviews before the afternoon session. I'd like to thank all of the viewers for tuning in, and we will hopefully rejoin you 1 hour or so hence. We will see you then. Have a wonderful lunch break.